for all the issues on which this Pope and this president disagree, right? For all the Pope's religious conservatism on issues like abortion, for example, and gay rights. Part of the reason this papal visit to the United States feels like such a big deal and such an important moment for our country, whether or not you're Catholic, is because of the ways this president and this Pope really do see eye to eye on big and controversial issues, the ways in which these two leaders are aligned, which in turn explains how we ended up in a place where the country at large seems pretty psyched about this big historic visit by Pope Francis, and there are tens of thousands of people turning out to see him everywhere he goes, and it may very well be 1 million people who turn out to see him in person in Philadelphia. But maybe it's because of the large-scale alliance between our president and this Pope on some big, important, ideologically charged issues. Maybe that's why, even for all this enthusiasm for this Pope on this trip, the American political right is not that psyched to see him.
I just think the Pope was wrong. And so the fact is that his infallibility is on religious matters, not on political ones.
Oh, everyone's going to ride the Pope now. You know that one? Well, the Pope ought to stay with his job and let us stay with ours.
I don't get economic policy from my bishops or my cardinals or from my Pope.
I would just say this, that, the church has gotten it wrong a few times on science. And I think that we probably are better off leaving science to the scientists.
The most dangerous person on the planet is somebody who's seeking strange new respect from their adversaries. And that is what the Pope is doing. He doesn't want to be your grandfather's Pope. He wants to be a modern Pope. All he needs is dreadlocks and a dog with a bandana, and he could be on Occupy Wall Street.
So here's the moment. You meet the Pope. Pope Francis comes.
Right.
There's a translator there.
Right.
And he says, "Oh, Mr. Trump, this is very nice." And then he says, "I want to tell him something." The translator says to you, "The Pope believes that capitalism can be a real avenue to greed. It can be really toxic and corrupt." And he's shaking his finger at you when he says it. What do you say in response to the Pope?
I'd say ISIS wants to get you. You know that ISIS wants to go in and take over the Vatican. You have heard that. You know that's a dream of theirs, to go into Italy.
He talks to you about capitalism? You scare the Pope?
No, I'm going to have to scare the Pope.
I don't think the Pope is scared of any American politician. But with our country transfixed by this historic visit, and the American right basically against him, this is a weird moment and a big moment, and sort of I think an unpredictable moment in American politics and in American culture. And to some people, it probably feels like the end of the world. But so far, it's been really fun.